North Korea has been active in developing nuclear technology since the 1950s. Although the country currently has no operational power-generating nuclear reactor, efforts at developing its nuclear power sector continue. Moreover, North Korea has developed nuclear weapons. It conducted what are widely accepted to have been nuclear tests in 2006, 2009, 2013, 2016, and 2017. Since the 1950s, North Korea has been interested in nuclear technology and has pursued the use of nuclear technology by transferring knowledge and technology related to nuclear energy from the Soviet Union. In April 1955, it decided to establish the Atomic and Nuclear Physics Research Institute at the Second General Meeting of the North Korean Academy of Sciences and dispatched 6 scientists from the Soviet Union Academy to the conference held in the Soviet Union in June 1955. In September 1959, an agreement on the use of nuclear power was signed with the Soviet Union in Moscow, and the dispatch of a scientist from North Korea to the Soviet Union became a systematic step forward. An IRT-2000 pool-type research reactor was supplied by the Soviet Union for the Yongbyon Nuclear Scientific Research Center in 1963, and began operation in 1965. After upgrades to the research reactor, the fuels now used are IRT-2M type assemblies of 36% and 80% highly enriched uranium. As the center has not received fresh fuel since Soviet times, this reactor is now only run occasionally to produce iodine-131 for thyroid cancer radiation therapy. During the 1970s, the North Korean research became more independent. In 1974, North Korea upgraded its Soviet-supplied reactor to 8 megawatts. And in 1979 it began to build a second, indigenous research reactor in Yongbyon Nuclear Scientific Research Center. Parallel to the construction of this reactor, an ore processing plant and a fuel rod fabrication plant were built. During the 1980s, the North Korean government realized that light water reactors were better suited to producing large amounts of electricity, for which there was a growing requirement. After the demise of the Soviet Union in 1991, Russia continued site selection fieldwork for the Sinpo LWR project. However, the North Koreans refused to pay for the work, and the project was effectively discontinued. The Institute of Atomic Energy in Pyongyang was founded in 1985. Initially to house a 20 MeV cyclotron and laboratories imported under an IAEA technical cooperation program from the Soviet Union. The vast majority of cyclotron usage is to produce gallium-66 for liver and breast cancer treatment. The IAEA has grown and now has 3 purposes: research, applying atomic energy to medicine and industry, and providing experimental facilities for nuclear studies students, particularly from Kim Il-sung University and Kim Jak University of Technology. In 1994, North Korea signed the US-North Korea Agreed Framework with the United States. North Korea thereby agreed to end its graphite-moderated nuclear reactor program, including the construction of a 200 MWe power reactor at Daejeon, in exchange for the construction of 2 1000 MWe light water reactors at Kumho, to be known as the Sinpo nuclear power plant. Construction of these was started in 2000 by the Korean Peninsula Energy Development Organization, but was suspended in November 2003, under the 6-party talks held on the 19th of September 2005. North Korea pledged to end all its nuclear programs and return to the Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty, submitting to international inspections in return for benefits including energy aid and normalization of relations with Japan and the United States. On the 25th of June 2008, it was announced that North Korea was to end its nuclear program. Its nuclear declaration was to be handed over to China in Beijing on the 26th of June 2008. The nuclear devices that North Korea already had, however, were to be handed over at a later date. Earlier, on the 23rd of June, North Korea stated that it had begun to dismantle its nuclear program and declared that it would turn over all of its plans to the international community. In 2009, Siegfried Hecker, the co-director of the Stanford University Center for International Security and Cooperation, said that, prior to its April rocket launch, North Korea had discharged approximately 6,100 of the 8,000 fuel rods from its 5-megawatt reactor to the cooling pool, but disablement slowed to a crawl of 15 fuel rods per week, dragging out the projected completion of fuel unloading well into 2011. Despite these apparent shutdown efforts, North Korea's nuclear tests in 2006, 2009 and 2013 have called into question its denuclearization commitment. In April 2013, amid rising tensions with the West, North Korea stated that it would restart the mothballed Yongbyon facility and resume production of weapons-grade plutonium. On 7 July 2018, U.S. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo, Japanese Foreign Minister Taro Kono and South Korean Foreign Minister Kang Kyung-wha met in Tokyo, where they reaffirmed the